Good day, everybody. Today we're going to start our study of the special senses with the eye. From our last unit on the cranial nerves, you learned that all the special senses, for example, sight, smell, hearing, etc., are all controlled by cranial nerves innervated in the skull. So all the special senses, their receptors and their nerves are going to be basically the cranial nerves located within the skull. We'd like to start with the structures of the eye here. I'm not going to focus on all these. For example, everybody's aware of the eyebrows, the eyelashes, and the eyelids. But just to make sure everybody's on the same page, the pupil is the small little black dot on at the center of your eye. That little black dot is the opening that brings light into the back of the eye for detection. Size of the pupil will vary depending upon the next portion out here, the iris. Iris is the colored portion of your eye. If you have blue eyes, then you have blue pigment into your iris. Brown, more brown pigments. And the next thing we see out here is the sclera, or white of the eyes. And again, we're not going to focus on the eyelids, the lower eyelids, or the upper eyelids, or eyelashes. Those are pretty self-explanatory. We'd like to start here with the accessory structures, in particular the lacrimal apparatus. The lacrimal apparatus is everything that produces the tears and drains the tears away. The lacrimal apparatus consists of, first of all, a lacrimal gland and the lacrimal ducts. Now, the lacrimal gland is the tear-producing gland. It's located in the superior lateral surface of your eye, so we're talking about up here, and little tiny ducts carry the tears that are produced into the eye. Now, every time you blink your eye, you wash the fluid, you wash the tears all the way across the eye. As they go across the eye, some of it's going to evaporate. And as it evaporates, you're not going to tear up or anything, but a small amount is going to be collected into the lacrimal canals, which are on the medial surface, and those lacrimal canals will lead into a whole nasal lacrimal duct. Now, they actually have this lacrimal sac here. The lacrimal sac will extend into the nasal lacrimal duct and carry the excess secretions into the nasal cavity. In the nasal cavity, those excess tears are going to help to moisten the air, humidify the air that comes in, and it'll eventually evaporate. Now, tears, or lacrimal fluid, besides just keeping the eye moist and everything, it also contains antibodies and lysozyme, which is an enzyme here which helps to prevent infections. So your eye is well protected from irritants and anything else that might enter. Now, also lining the eye goes around the inside of the eyelids, both upper and lower, and around the sclera. It stops though at the iris. Is a layer of tissue called the conjunctiva. The conjunctiva is a membrane that connects everything and actually helps lubricate the eye so the eye can be easily moved left, right, up, down, as well as moving the eyelid, open and closed. Now, most people are familiar with a disease called conjunctivitis or pink eye. That is just basically caused by a bacterial or virus infection that's going to cause the inflammation of the blood vessels, surrounding the conjunctiva, and gives the characteristic appearance of pink eye. Now, on this slide, we're going to focus on the extrinsic eye muscles. These are muscles that are going to control the movement of the eyeball. We're going to start with the four rectus muscles, starting here with the inferior rectus muscle, shown right here. Goes along and attaches to the bottom side of your eyeball. When this muscle contracts or shortens, it's going to pull the eye downward and toward the midline of the body. The muscle on the opposite side Superior rectus muscle, again, attaches from the top of the eye and goes back to insert in about the same location. The superior rectus muscle pulls the eye upward and to the midline. Now the inferior rectus muscle, lateral rectus muscle, attaching from the side and goes out, this one is going to abduct the eye. It's going to pull it away from the midline. Abduct, A-B-D-U-C-T. It's going to pull it away from the midline. And while the medial rectus muscle, you can't see it from this view here, but you have to look from the top view. The medial rectus muscle, right here, pulls the eye straight medially towards the midline, or adducts it, A-D-D-U-C-T. Now, the superior oblique muscle, best seen right from this view right here from the top view, attaches on the top part of the eye, passes through a little pulley or trochlea, and then goes back and attaches. When this muscle contracts, superior oblique muscle, when it contracts, it abducts or pulls away from the midline, the eye, and pulls it downward and outward. So we're going to go down and out when you contract this one. And the inferior oblique, best seen from this side view here, goes across the bottom of the eye.